Hi, so I've been using Arch Linux as my main operating system for approximately 7 or 8 years now, and I love its focus on having a lean, simple system. The community and Pacman and the Arch Linux wiki are fantastic, but sometimes your system breaks. And then you have to find out what caused the problem, which can go quickly or often it takes a long time. And there are situations where you don't have time to search for the problem, like when you're about to give a presentation which you haven't finished. Well, in those cases, you want to be able to just go back to a state that worked. So a while ago, I reinstalled my system with Btrfs, Snapper and Snapper Rollback, which allow you to take snapshots of your system. And if something goes wrong, you can just go back to them. You have to be a bit careful with the setup, because if you're not, then after a system update, which involved a kernel update, there is a risk of a version mismatch of the files on your boot partition and on your main system. And if that happens, then you can't boot at all and you need a live installation medium, which you probably didn't bring because you're traveling to give a presentation. And you have a very stressful evening. So I've made this video to prevent situations like that, both for myself and hopefully for some of you. And let's have a look at the screencast that I recorded earlier. So for your information, I did this demonstration in a virtual box, but the process is really no different on a real computer. I'll go through the entire installation, but I'll focus on those parts that matter for Snapper Rollback. First, I use fdisk-l to list the available devices. So we're going to use dev-sda. And again, we use fdisk to partition the disk. M shows you the commands, and with G we set a GPT partition table because we're going to use EFI. Next, we create the EFI partition. That's the first partition on a hard drive, and about 300 megabytes should be enough space. With command T, you can change the partition type to be an EFI system partition. Next, we create the main partition, which will hold the system. That just takes up the entire rest of the disk. With command P, we can see the partition table, and that looks good, so we can save and exit with W. Now we need to format the partitions. The EFI partition has format FAT32, and the main partition has format Btrfs. So if you're not familiar with Btrfs, the Arch Linux wiki is a fountain of information. Also check out the Arch Linux wiki entry for Snapper. In short, Btrfs is made up of subvolumes. There is a root of the file system, which is a subvolume with ID 5, and underneath that there can be additional subvolumes. Subvolumes are similar to folders. They can be created, copied, deleted, and so on. And you can take snapshots of subvolumes, which are subvolumes themselves. Subvolumes can be mounted to folders, and you can have one subvolume mounted to a subfolder of another subvolume. So for example, if you look at this folder hierarchy, root can be a subvolume, let's call it @, and the home subfolder of root can be another subvolume called @home. If you take a snapshot of the parent subvolume, root, the child subvolume, home, will not be included in the snapshot. But of course you can make a separate snapshot of home if you want. Snapshots that you take with Snapper will be saved in a subvolume called @snapshots. If you have taken multiple snapshots of root, they will be saved there. So we will be able to go back in time by replacing the current subvolume at with the snapshot of the root file system to which we want to revert. Okay, so let's continue with the screencast. To create subvolumes, we first need to mount Btrfs root. If you mount a disk with Btrfs, by default Btrfs root will be mounted, that's subvolume 5. Now we can create 3 subvolumes. we'll create subvolume at, which will hold the root of our Arch Linux installation. Then subvolume at home, which will hold the home directory, and subvolume snapshots, where snapshots will be saved. You can really create as many subvolumes as you want. For example, var log, which makes a lot of sense because if something goes wrong and you want to go back, then you want to keep the logs to find out what went wrong. Since this is a minimal installation, I'll be skipping that here. So if we list the subvolumes we've just created, we see that their IDs start at 256 and their parent subvolume has ID 5. 5 is Btrfs root. We will use the IDs to mount the subvolumes. Currently, Btrfs is mounted, but since we will install Arch Linux to subvolume at, we need to unmount Btrfs root and mount at. You can mount a subvolume other than the default subvolume by passing the option subvol ID. You can also do it by name. And you can pass mount options to the mount command. I normally add compression, which is well described in the Arch wiki page. The ls command shows that the at subvolume is empty. So to be able to mount the other subvolumes, we have to create mount points. We will also create a mount point for the EFI partition and one for Btrfs root. That will be used by Snapper Rollback. Now we mount the subvolumes and also the EFI partition. And we are ready to install the basic packages that we need. I normally use Vim. EFI boot manager is required by Grub, and we will use dhcpcd to connect to the network. That's going to take a while, so I will pause the video and come back when it's finished. Now that we are done, we can create the file system table based on what is currently mounted. And here's what it looks like. So next we can change root into the system we have just installed, and we can do the basic configuration like languages, localization, and so on. I'm going through this a bit more quickly here because it's well described in the Arch Linux installation guide. Once that is done, we can create the initial RAM disk environment with make init cpio and set a root password and finally install Grub. This is an important step where we separate the EFI directory from the boot directory. So the boot related files are saved in folder boot, which is a subfolder of root and therefore backed up in a snapshot. If we roll back, then the versions of the files in boot will be consistent with the remaining file system, which is not necessarily the case if boot is on the EFI partition. Finally, we run grub make config and reboot. After login, I just checked if the internet connection works, and now we can install Snapper. So Snapper can take snapshots of subvolumes, and snappack is a pacman hook that automatically creates snapshots before and after every pacman update. You can also take snapshots in many other ways, but for me this has been the most useful way so far. I also installed sudo and base devil because Snapper Rollback is in the AUR, so we will be building it with make package, which cannot be run by root. Now that Snapper is installed, we have to create a configuration file for it. But if we run the command, it complains that folder .snapshots already exists. And that's because when you create a subvolume, the corresponding folder will be created too. So we need to remove the existing .snapshots folder. To do that, we first need to unmount it and then remount it again after it has been created. To install Snapper Rollback, we create a user, which we should do anyway, and we add it to group wheel, which is kind of the admin group. Then we edit the sudo as file such that anybody in group wheel can run sudo commands. We change to the newly created user. And now we can download Snapper Rollback from the AUR. I do that here using curl. Then we can extract it and make the package. Regarding the options, SIC, S means install dependencies, I means install the package, and C means clean up after you. And that's it. We've installed everything. We can list all snapshots by running snapper list. And here we can see that pre and post update snapshots taken by Snapback are there. Finally, there is one more setting we need to change, and that's in the configuration file for Snapper Rollback, because I named the mount point of Btrfs root with the leading dot. And we're done. Now we can test if everything worked. Here I install pyenv, which is great for managing different Python versions and virtual environments. Now say after the installation something doesn't work and I want to go back. We can now run snapper list to find out which ID the snapshot before the update had. Here that's ID 5. And I just quickly run the pyenv command to show that it's really installed. And now we can go back by typing snapper rollback with the ID of the target snapshot. Then you confirm and reboot. And if you run pyenv now, it can't be found, which means that the rollback worked. You can also go back to the latest snapshot if you like. So that's everything I wanted to cover. That's everything I've really needed. If you want to be able to boot into snapshots, you may want to have a look at packages Grub Btrfs and snappack Grub. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, give it a like and hopefully see you soon.